let's just look ahead to a speech from the Prime Minister. We believe it is going to be addressing the difficulties the NHS is facing. It is going to address the rail strikes. But the main thrust of the speech is about maths, in particular the maths level in our 18-year-olds, which is not sufficient, the Prime Minister is going to say. He would like every child, right up to the age of 18, to learn some kind of maths. Let's get the view on this from Dr. Mary Bousted, who is co-leader of the NEU Union, the teaching union. Mary Bousted, Happy New Year, and thank you for being there.
Hi, Happy New Year to you.
If we peel away all the politics of this and the timing of the speech, etc., is this ambition in and of itself a good one?
Yes, it is. It's a very good ambition to have all young people studying maths and studying literacy and English to the age of 18 in a broader reform of post-16 qualifications, because we have the narrowest post-16 curriculum in the developed world, in the OECD. So broadening it out and continuing to study what is an essential area of knowledge and an essential skill, the ability to be numerate, to 18 is a very good ambition.
Do you see this part of the push for the baccalaureate, whether that's the IB or this British one, or do you think this is a standalone idea to push maths into post-16 teaching?
I think, Rishi Sunak in the leadership contest talked about a post-16 baccalaureate. That's a very, and certainly a baccalaureate system is really worth exploring post-16 because our post-16 curriculum is so narrow. I mean, so the ambition is fine. The reality is very different from the ambition. The fact of the matter is that we simply don't have enough maths teachers to teach maths to the pupils we have now, pre-16. 1 in 8 maths lesson is taught by a teacher who's not qualified in maths. The
1 in 8? Sorry, just to be clear on that statistic. Now, so that there is a great shortage throughout the education system as we speak today.
There's a huge shortage of teachers. The government only met 57% of its targets for secondary training last year. They're on course to do the same terrible achievement this year of just over half its targets being met. They've not met their targets for the last 12 years. And they've reduced the maths target by 39% since 2020. So we've got a shortage of maths teachers, the government massaging the targets to reduce them because they're not going to meet the targets that they've got. And we've got maths being taught on an industrial scale by teachers who aren't qualified in the subject. So the question is, where are these extra teachers of maths to be found? Why
are there so few maths teachers? Is there something about maths that intimidates potential candidates into doing something else?
No, I mean, the issue is maths isn't an outrider here. There are simply far too few teachers. I've just said that now English is a shortage subject. I trained as an English teacher. It was really difficult to be an English teacher when I trained, and indeed when I trained English teachers. Now it's a shortage subject. Most secondary subjects now are shortage subjects. Maths is just one of a whole range of design, technology, computer studies, English, modern foreign language. I could reel off. There are more subjects in secondary which are shortage than there are which are filled. The only ones which meet their targets really are physical education and maybe drama.
Is there something in the way that the education of potential teachers is done that needs to be reviewed so that we have a greater throughput of people qualified to teach maths? I mean, is our approach to teaching the teachers wrong?
The government's just undergone a major reform of initial teacher training, which actually has reduced the number of providers quite significantly on quite spurious grounds. So the danger is, each training has been through, I don't know how many reforms. The issue is not with teacher training, it's with the number of places available and the number of graduates who want to train to be teachers. Because frankly, they look at how hard teachers work. Teachers work the longest unpaid overtime in any profession. And it's not just that therefore they don't want to become teachers, therefore we don't get the numbers in training to be teachers. But then the other problem is that a third of teachers leave within 5 years, 40% leave within 10 years. So we don't hold on to the teachers that we have trained, and they don't stay in the profession.
And the reasons for leaving typically, Mary, are what?
So, well, I've written a book on this, so there's a lot to say.
I thought you had.
Very quickly. The reasons are excessive workload, too much accountability measures, which teachers find completely onerous and not fair, and low pay. And also the other reason is that teachers are very popular in other professions because they have very transferable skills. So,
qualify as a teacher and you can get a job anywhere, can you?
Yeah, I mean, it's you can communicate well, you can work with other people, you're used to working very hard, you're reliable. You wouldn't do any of those. You've got a good social conscience, you want to make the world a better place. You wouldn't go into teaching unless you were somebody like that. And when you find that you're working a 60-hour week unremittingly, and you're just completely exhausted, then teachers leave, and they leave in ever increasing numbers earlier in the profession. So this is at the root of the massive problem we have with teacher supply, and it affects maths, it affects English. There was a 40% gap between the number the government wanted to recruit and they actually did recruit in modern foreign languages. All these core subjects are suffering now from a massive shortage of teachers, and that affects the quality of the education provided, because however hard you work as a teacher, if you're teaching out of your subject area, that's a really difficult thing to do.